Good morning and greetings from Northumberland. It's Saturday the 5th of June. It's another sunny morning with the curtains closed to keep out the sun as I speak to you. Yesterday we talked about a Welshman, Petroc, who became an apostle and an evangelist, if you like, to the southwest peninsula, to Devon and Cornwall, and then later to Brittany. Today we move forward more than 100 years to the year 675, when in Crediton, in what would have been modern Devon, but in those days the Kingdom of Wessex, a man was born called Boniface. He became a monastic, he entered a monastery in Exeter and then moved to Nursling near Southampton to another community. And he stayed in those communities until he was 40 years old. And then he felt an amazing call to move and to proclaim the gospel. And so he moved from the south of England to Frisia, to the borders of Germany and the Netherlands, and began to work as a missionary. And he met with very little success at the beginning, but he moved to Rome. He was offered the job of the abbot back in Nursling, but he went to Rome and was commissioned by Gregory II to continue to be an evangelist and a bishop in Germany. He went there as a bishop, later became archbishop, and then resigned from his archbishopric in order to return again to Frisia, to continue proclaiming the gospel, reforming the church, and drawing people into the love of God. He was fearless, and some would say quite rash in what he did, chopping down a sacred tree dedicated to Thor. And he finally met his death as a martyr when a group of pagan bandits killed him in 754. But what he left behind was a legacy of Christianity in that part of Northern Europe, and a fiery commitment to living out the gospel and to following Christ that had a profound influence on those who he met. And when we commemorate the saints, the men and women who heard the call of God, who followed the call of God, and who did things in many different ways, some by living quietly and living and preaching and proclaiming the gospel, and some doing great things like Boniface. He changed his name from Winfrid to Boniface during the course of all this ministry. However they worked, they proclaimed to us the same story. Let God fill our hearts. Let God change our lives. And let God call us to serve God wherever we are called. So that in our context, whether it's in Northumberland or wherever you're watching this, how does God call us to serve him and to bring others into his love? How do we live out that vocation that we see as an example in the life of the saints and make a difference in our world and in the church? May God bless us as we examine that and as we seek to live it out. Amen.